judge and occasionally Susato's father poking in. Kyle has the prosecutor and I have the defense.
Nice.
Anyway, hi, welcome back. It's more Ace Attorney. My fingers are in pain right now. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
I'm just.
Yeah, it's not the only pain you can deal with at the moment.
Right. I forgot. We have a special guest.
Oh my god, I'm special. I mean.
Okay, never mind. We just have someone here filling in. Let's just leave it at that then. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm special.
Sorry, I changed my mind. Never mind. Let's not call it special. Let's call it just person.
We have some.
It's okay, Andrew.
I'm
kidding.
We have someone here today to help us out because Cammy cannot make it.
Yes.
And also, my boss has stopped giving me Thursday night shifts starting next month, so.
Yay!
Hey.
So I
I
can
don't
join more
remember.
often too.
I don't remember what was going on. Was this
Cammy
I
told me you
think
guys.
it was Kyle.
Kyle,
Talking.
you get to explain the case to us.
Is
Now
it?
you get to
Oh,
hear
yeah,
all
'cause
of us
it's-
terribly voice act as well.
I mean, I just do Susato in my normal voice, so.
Yeah, I do pain in my very not normal voice.
At least we don't have to speak about a certain someone anymore.
McGill did, and it's freaking. Kyle did an Irish accent, and it's so funny.
I know.
Sounds
I
weird.
went and
That
watched
sounds
the
the truth.
stream you guys did.
I am scared. I will
Okay.
forever be scared of McGilded until I die.
I love how I've just permanently that into your brain now.
Yep.
That
any-
and that Mo and your Monokuma have all been seared into my
Monokuma
brain.
isn't-
Walmart
Monokuma isn't
leprechaun.
as bad. Okay, Monokuma isn't as bad. But whenever I hear his laugh, when he does that laugh, and whenever he does the Irish accent, I will forever be scarred.
I love this, honestly.
I don't mind the
Walmart
Monokuma. The Monokuma I
leprechaun.
can get through. Yeah.
Walmart leprechaun.
Too bad we don't have a picture of McGilded right now. Oh well, anyway. Kyle.
We'll just remember him like he's dead.
Alright. A prominent crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight.
Oh, that's a nice place.
On the outskirts of the imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea.
Wait, hold on. 1800s. No, we're in Tokyo technically, aren't we?
I believe so.
I think so.
Early 1900s?
Maybe Tokyo did technically like modernize later than the rest of the world would have.
Fair enough. Okay, so this is somewhere in Tokyo. Got it.
Yeah. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes.
Or fuck.
The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung.
Wait,
An
hold
injury
on.
which proved fatal.
Do we know the murder weapon?
It's a knife.
Oh, because I was about to be like, did she deadass stab herself with a knife and this is just gonna be a suicide? Because I swear, I mean with the like pen or whatever.
It's a knife. Yeah, she was
Okay.
stabbed in the back.
Because she was holding a pen, so I was like, what? She just like killed herself.
Well, maybe that will become useful at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, crazier shit's happened today.
What if that's literally the like case though?
I mean,
Megan solves it in 0.5 seconds.
solves the case in like 5 seconds. Holy shit.
Now, who's really the great Ace Attorney?
Hmm. Maybe I'm the real descendant.
Oh yeah, Megan, just to provide some context, Susato is the defense, so the judicial assistant
Susato
is...
is the little bitch boy with the hat, correct?
Susato's the one with the kimono.
Darn. Okay.
The little bitch boy with the
Hey!
hat.
I was just going off of your fucking profile picture.
I mean, technically,
That's
it is
technically him.
Technically, for this
it
case,
is
she's not
Susato?
wrong.
But Susato's disguising herself as a man because females aren't allowed to be attorneys, so she's
Yeah.
so
they're-
yeah.
No, it's not that females aren't allowed to be attorneys.
It's not
there's
they're not
that.
respected.
No, it's not. Also, they're not allowed in the courtroom technically,
Oh yeah, unless they're like a witness, right?
unless
Because
they're
it's
witness
Japan?
or defendant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no,
Fuck
no.
Japan.
No, I'm pretty sure even if you're a defendant. Actually, no, you might be in there. I
No,
don't remember.
'cause-
because the
because-
defendant is Ray in this.
Because
So
Ray is literally in the courtroom right now.
Yeah.
To be
yeah.
fair, she's also at the witness stand right now.
Yeah.
True.
So, anyway,
Maybe they're not supposed to watch, but they can be in the courtroom.
I don't know.
Well-
I don't know the specifics behind it.
Yeah. Because technically Susato is the judicial assistant to Rhinosuke. So I don't know.
Far away in Japan. I'm far away in Great Britain.
Yeah,
I don't have to
he's
talk.
yeah, it's all me.
And me.
Anyway, continue, Kyle.
There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett, in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Membami. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Oh, yeah, I have to do the judge. Damn it.
Huh.
Ah,
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
that's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about.
I don't think that's a proper sentence.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
English translations in this are a little wonky.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah,
God, because I
remember,
was like,
this was in
I do
Japanese.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do bear in mind this game took years to come to North America, specifically
Yeah.
because it was difficult to translate. So.
Yeah, fair.
like this game in Japan released in 2015, and in North
Yeah.
America it came out 2021. So
Let's see. Let's go
The bathing spot, because wasn't she in a dress?
if I may, Prosecutor Ouchie,
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
Oh,
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
Ah! My apologies. Clearly, my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind.
What?
Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins.
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a knowing criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. So, Miss Brett, the victim, was a convicted murderer or a suspected murderer?
Yes, the very first
Convicted.
case of the
There you
last game, she was found guilty of murder.
9 months ago, she was found guilty of the murder of visiting professor Dr. John
Okay.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
There you go. So
And
that
now
is
she
the
herself is
summary of
dead.
it. Yes.
Mhm.
It was to depart for Shanghai.
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day.
Oh, just to recap that a bit more as well. The Japanese have there's a British consulate courtroom in Shanghai, so the Japanese have agreed to extradite Miss Brett to Shanghai in order for her to be tried for the crime. Japan can't
Okay,
do
so
that.
she was gonna go to Shanghai for the trial and then got murdered right before going to the trial, and that's like
Yes.
sus as fuck already.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact she was even going to Shanghai in the first place was sus as fuck, because technically, because the start of like this 2-game series is like Britain and Japan signed the deal to kind of like open their borders and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, part of that was supposed to be that Britain wasn't going to use consular courts anymore, so the fact she was going to Shanghai at all is already sus.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyways, you may continue.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good you're asking questions, so.
Indeed.
I mean, it's good we're not too far in, because all of these are really easy questions we can just get out of the way ASAP.
It's also the
Yeah.
first case as well, so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I read that line already.
Yes, you did.
Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request?
Because it's the British.
As usual, our government is unable to stand up for foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I.
Sure, you keep telling yourself that.
Damn. Okay.
In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
Keep telling yourself that, Uchi. Keep telling yourself that.
Quiet, you.
But in fact, a murder took place.
I said don't look at me. It was that young student girl who did it, not I.
Again.
That's
keep
not
telling yourself
suspicious.
that. Keep telling yourself that.
No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to.
At this stage, I need to gather more information, I think. I'm not gonna say that line again. Maybe
Man, right?
Mami-san. Bami-san.
Membami. Oh, that's a really hard name.
Membambi.
Yeah, her name is Rei Membami. It's a
Membami.
weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Remember
Can we just
me.
call her like Bami-san or something? Oh. Fuck. Yes, what is it, sis? I mean, Naruhodo-san?
Oh yes, Megan, to give you some context, Susato's fake name is Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Okay.
The main character's name is Ryanosuke Naruhodo, so
Okay.
Susato's playing herself off as his cousin
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
from the country.
Oh, damn. They should have just done that. Her
I'm
line.
really starting to wish we made my alias Ryutaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place.
Make sweet love.
And why were you alone with her?
To make sweet love. Oh! No! It's not true! It wasn't like that at all.
She heard you, Megan.
There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett, for starters. She had a bunch of exclamation points. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion. That's all.
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else.
Ooh, that is sus.
The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn.
We were lesbian lovers.
It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
The last chance to express my feelings for her. No!
Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Wait, so the British embassy was taking her to Shanghai to continue the trial?
Yes.
Yes.
But why didn't they just bring her to Britain then?
You do realize how long it takes by steamship?
It's like 52 days by steamship.
Yeah. If there's a consulate in Shanghai, it is easier and quicker just to bring her to Shanghai than to have her
Guess, yeah.
extradited all the way to Britain.
I guess,
Not in
yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, we haven't.
We're in the
hit point of
1800s still.
verification.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't
We're
hit the point
in
of planes yet.
the Meiji period, I think.
Meiji,
Yeah,
so
the
that
Meiji era.
Meiji period
Or like the
is
start of
Demon
it.
Slayer's period, so I think 1800s.
Yeah.
We're not
Thereabouts.
there yet. We're basically not there yet in terms of technology.
Yeah, 1868 to 1912.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
Kindly refrain from conjecture, Council.
Prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now, at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you. Goad? Is that a word?
Yes.
That's a word?
That is a word.
I think it's like don't let him
It's like
ruffle your feathers.
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's kind of what the feeling I got from that, but I was like, is that actually a word to describe that?
Sadly.
Oh dear. This is really terrifying. But Father's right. We need more information. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Tut, tut, tut. Is the yokel boy using loan words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Benbami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba
Yes.
in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then?
Oh. I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor was murdered by Miss Britt 9 months ago?
Bitch.
Yeah. The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Love. Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she had done. A powerful hatred and lust.
I hate that.
Oh no, Ray. Be careful of what you're saying.
The motive was revenge fucking. I mean, revenge.
No.
Your Excellency.
Sorry.
You know, kind of unrelated, but it brought me back to like that Full Metal Alchemist like Brotherhood blooper. That's like Roy Mustang being like the sexual method that's used in the Ishvalan region. They mainly double team.
Oh my god. My favorite Roy Mustang line is still the fucking mini skirts though. That was the only
Oh,
thing
yeah.
to come out of like the OG.
Yes. All female officers would be required to wear tiny miniskirts.
Yes, that yes.
Prosecutor Counsel Uchi, did you just say revenge? What now?
Did I say what?
You said revenge, I forgot the second part. Could you repeat that?
Must have been the wind.
I believe we have a clear picture of the incident now. This despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murderer of the mentor for whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty.
It's alright, your stream's gonna get worse for a bit.
Oh?
I limited the FPS just so it's stream a bit faster. So it's
Oh, sorry, that was my fault. I got distracted by essay.
oh, okay, that's fine. Then
Yeah, the stream is fine. I just like was writing.
Sam-
back up to 30.
and-
Yeah, it was just my essay.
Yes, even if
It doesn't
was
help
only
that they were still on his face. Sorry.
That's fair. Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Hooray.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Oh, Jesus. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic event.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
The court will accept this photographic print as evidence. As I understand it, then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally, the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Witnesses, but who?
Thought they were alone.
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective.
Oh no.
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
Ugh.
Very well done, Counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me.
Oh wait, so he's got a personal vendetta against in this case too.
Yep.
I'm not gonna read this because this is repeated.
Hey, Rio. Hi, Bruno.
Oh,
Cosmo! Baby!
Oh, that's right. He cut his hair. I forgot about that.
He cut the top part off.
Yeah, so you slicked that now. I forgot about that. How you
Cosmo.
slicked that.
He looks better with his hair down, honestly.
It's not bad.
This seems to be a common thing in the Ouchi family tree.
Yep. Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
The start of your own mini Meiji revolution? Are you modernizing as well, Counsel?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head.
Honestly, I would not call that a minor.
Observe the Ouchi growth. You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown.
sorry.
He's
Council
delusional.
Council Uji, that looks like a turd.
And it does. He dropped a swirly on his head and passed it off as a...
You agree with me, right, Ritaro?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Wait, what? I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something.
Right, I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
I said silence!
They're so
Hey.
mean.
I mean, let's be honest, Paige is just kind of a punching bag.
He is.
This guy is pretty much a punching bag.
Today, I face another Yoko student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you! And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned.
Okay.
With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
It looks like the stakes are high on both sides of this trial. The prosecution and the defense each has much to lose.
It is hardly comparable to Ray's life.
What? Oh, who's it? Who is it? Oh no. Oh no! No! Not these two! Why you two again?
Witnesses,
well-
please state your names and occupations for the court.
Well, if someone would like to take Sosuke-san, I will gladly.
I am not doing Sosuke and Ouchie. I'm sorry, but
You know what?
no.
Do Sosuke, but I don't know what the fuck my accent's gonna be.
He's batshit crazy, so do
Okay,
that how
well,
you will.
okay, we're just gonna change it all the
Alright.
time.
Andrew, do you want Hosonaga or?
Sure. Cause I'm kind of thinking we gotta give Megan some voices. So.
I mean, I could do both the witnesses, but
No, it's
Yeah, I
okay.
could do both
I
of
can do.
them.
I can do Mr. Hosonaga. It's not like I'm gonna have too much to speak anyway. I guess Kyle, if he wants to, you can maybe take the judge for a bit.
I mean, again, I can take both. I don't care.
Ah, I have an idea. You can take the judge then. I'll take Hosonaga.
You want me to? You hate doing the judge that much?
Well, no. The problem is I can't differentiate his voice between Professor Mikotoba. Because for Professor
Okay,
Mikotoba,
you know what? I'll do the judge, but you guys are gonna be in for a ride
Alright.
because
You
I
know,
can't
that's-
do guy voices, so we're already in for like a terrible ride.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, Megan, most of the time, I am not the defense. I'm playing the prosecutor most of the time.
I mean, honestly, voice acting around here is basically just us throwing voices at the wall and seeing what sticks. So
Okay,
honestly, I
well-
wouldn't worry about it.
Like you saw
Cool.
in chat, Megan, the one that always throws me off is fucking Gina. Ah!
Yeah.
I love her
Yeah.
though, so.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected.
Nice disguise.
Okay. And,
how we go-
And I am, well, the next thing I'm author renowned throughout the capital, in fact, yes.
I love it.
No, Sasuke-san, what happened to your voice? You seem to sound so different. Oh, his voice must have been. It took a rough turn when he returned
nose
back
job.
from Britain.
It's a lot of salt air from the sea.
He got sick on the ship and
Oh my God, there's the guy.
I need
Oh
a
my
minute.
God.
I'm reeling.
To be sold out, I am the satirical. I am a cat. A sensational success by Sosuke Natsume.
And like the fucking John Cena things start going on.
oh my goodness.
struggling student from the province says, please, you need to be in awe of me.
Sorry, wait, hold up. I needn't?
It's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence. But all of you, please, relax. Call me Sosuke even.
Yes? What on earth is Soseki-san doing here?
Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes,
He tells everyone
yeah,
vagina.
of course. I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although, he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him.
Yeah, he has a complete voice overhaul.
And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe.
Fashion icon.
Do I have something on my face?
No, but you do have a turtle.
Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping, you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
Oh, I suppose it's this disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony.
Burn it.
It is... Oh, yeah, he does have a turtle in his head. Oh, the face. So adorable. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Who's doing the judge?
Oh.
Judge.
I'm trying to think of a voice. You know, I'm just gonna do my normal voice until I figure something out.
Sure.
Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have. I can appreciate why. That doesn't make sense. Is that English?
Yeah? Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present.
Yeah, that's English.
Okay.
That
That's,
It
that
just
is
you know who
proper
doesn't have a brain
English.
suck today?
that just like that did not register as a proper sentence in my head. But what business did a writer such as yourself have at the scene, Soseki-san?
Ah, well, you see. I had been asked today to give a lecture. On the morning of the incident, in the Imperial Yume University Grand Hall lecture, no less. Lecture hall, not hall lecture.
At Yume University?
The lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact.
With with Professor Mikotoba?
Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about two former students who'd studied in Great Britain.
Court, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. The secretly spy snapshots, scribble stories, and my scooper my privacy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. I'll sign one.
Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me.
Yeet.
Keep going, Megan.
Wait, following my with the professor.
Wait, are they both still at the stand together?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
There is one time, I think it was case 5 of the last, we had like 4 or 5 people at the witness stand.
This is the norm in this game, not in the mainline Ace Attorney games, but the
Oh,
CC
okay. Yeah, okay, never
Yeah,
mind. Because I've only
so-
played mainline, so I was like, are they like allowed to do that?
Yeah, so Great Ace Attorney made
Does that
it
mean
so
the defendants can converse?
they-
You'll see when we get to cross-examination.
you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
Oh
see.
god, okay.
The lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement.
She's pregnant.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosono.
Did he do it?
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. But fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly.
Oh my, Inspector, you, well, you do have something on your face now.
How it's like, I do apologize.
You just starting to bleed?
Does that
Maybe.
mean you went to the beach too, Father?
No, fortunately I had work to finish off, but unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Rhea was invited to take my place.
Court, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation.
But if only I'd never have seen that awful sight.
Sasuke-san, that salt air isn't doing good. That Japanese, that whatever you ate has not done well for you.
He's putting a little bit of fancy salt into his sake every night.
Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Oh my god, is he dying?
Of course, Your Excellency.
He's fine.
He's fine, probably.
Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret. I am.
And now you get to see a witness
To be or
testimony.
not to be?
We're gonna have two people speak, not at the same time though. We're not. This isn't Danganronpa. We're not gonna go that crazy.
That would suck.
I'm still trying to wrap my head. I did the demo. I don't have I don't have V3, but I did the demo, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact of freaking. God.
So
yeah.
hard.
On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
I just managed to catch the crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Yes.
My young girl was astride the English woman, Dagger,
Are you sure Dagger was in hand?
and she stabbed wildly.
What's
Pretty
your
sure it was
definition of
a
dagger in this context?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim twice. I already see the contradiction in there.
Do we have to continuously read when we do cross exam? Do we have to
No.
continuously?
No.
Okay,
No,
so only if they add like a new line to cross exam.
Either
Yeah.
that or I press
Okay.
them for information.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Indeed, it does appear that from this testimony, that from this testimony that both witnesses here present saw it,
Oh,
them having
and also,
sex.
sorry. Also, any flashbacks we're not doing either, unless it's
Yes. Okay,
line
yeah.
dialogue we haven't done.
Yeah, like if it's a flashback to like when she was murdered or something.
Yes. If it's in the past tense, then
Or if we see like Kazuma, for example.
yeah, stuff that happened in the first game, which we'll probably identify, we don't read.
Yeah.
The very moment of this heinous crime.
What?
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? I guess that was it. Damning evidence.
Sorry, did you mean decisive evidence?
Have you? It's the pen! The pen!
Dun dun dun.
She killed herself.
Your Excellency?
What have you there, Counsel? So-called fountain pen, is it?
Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene while examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer.
What?
Please don't tell me you didn't write
What
it
is
down.
going on?
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more.
Is this like the thinker? Is it actually a knife? Ah, goodness me. It's the pen! Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would be kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency.
Ah! The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel.
God, not this again.
RM. Raymond. It's just RM. It could be anyone. Rap monster. The initials of the defendant.
Oh my god, she hits in the back as well. Wow.
She got all of her
Congratulations.
moves. She got all of her moves from Rhinosuke.
Congratulations, you killed Susato. How do you feel?
You killed me.
This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence.
So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence.
Say decisive evidence. It makes more sense.
No! There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I don't understand. The prosecutor Ouchie of 9 months ago had none of this man's poise. I like how Susato's just like laying on the table. She's just like, I'm done.
Fuck
Well,
this shit, I'm out.
that lasted long.
Counsel, for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san.
That means. Oh, yes, me.
Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom?
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Cousin Ryotaro, pull yourself together, please.
All right, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove that they are lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. Queen shit.
Okay.
Hold it!
In that jaunty disguise.
Correct. Oh, right. It hasn't been introduced yet. Damn it. Right. As soon as we go back to Susato, we forget that. Oh yeah, we can peek on the other side and see what those person's thinking about. Oh well. Correct. Wait, no. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn a swimsuit in a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. What? To what must be done to keep the English woman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day.
And this tried and tested outfit was the answer.
Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. Ah, it's a turtle! Mr. Turtle loves the water. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Mr. Turtle loves the water.
But there was no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really, was there?
If it made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you have had I think perhaps you've had your priorities wrong.
Yeah, you might drop dead.
Perhaps
Right?
I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment.
Hold it!
Ah, you're describing the victim's scream. Presumably, Sasaki-san?
More literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heaven. Yeah! Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describing things so.
So Sasaki-san wasn't at all like this in England.
Anyway, I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze because she was changing in there.
Yes, the beach hut.
The area is popular with government ministries. Many have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it is always very quiet. The beach hut is a simple structure, erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. I mean, there's trees there, what the hell?
Although the English woman commandeered the hut for herself. Which means that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand.
Ah, I imagine that was quite embarrassing for you.
Well, anyways, I tossed the crap aside and headed for the beach hut and a run. Or in a more literary terms, I decrabbed and beetled off hut-wise.
Hold on, I haven't actually looked at the evidence yet. Okay, time of death at 2 p.m. Single stab wound from behind piercing resulting from hemorrhages. Death would have occurred within minutes. Notes: extreme mitosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim
What's-
in both eyes.
What's the importance of that note, though?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So here's the crimson. Unfortunately, you only have this magnifying glass to really help. So
Zoom in on the pen.
I can't. I can't look at evidence. I can't look at the image and point out stuff.
Yeah, I know. I just meant like put it over the pen.
Where's the pen? Oh, her mask came off. So where's her eyes? She has no eyes. Ah,
The
she's
wine
missing them.
bottle's over there, but the glass is over there, and the wine bottle isn't leaking, but the glass is. Did she pour herself an entire bottle of wine into one glass?
Oh,
I
more
mean, it
concerned-
doesn't have
I'm-
to be.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the geese. I'm more concerned. Sorry, about this swan on top.
I thought that was a fucking like onigiri. I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's a swan.
It's a swan.
I was literally like, it literally looks like a rice ball, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, that's the swan, and unfortunately, the swan was also killed when she died.
What?
Not the swan.
Isn't it a fake one?
No.
No,
It's
No.
real.
it was
It's very
established
much
in the last. It is very real.
Yeah.
It flew her out of the courtroom last time. Wigahai!
No, that's Magahai's kittens.
So cute.
Also,
I-
why is that? Why
He's
is
just
that
chopping
very-
the top of the face.
Is there a crinkle in the top?
Yeah, I got a question about this. Oh, no, Gabe, why are you taking steps back? Now I gotta.
Hold it!
Wait, by pair you don't mean to say. But how could that be?
No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I meant the victim and the defendant. Ray. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Ray now. It's easier to say.
Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish. Very foolish.
It really was an outside chance. I just wish I realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight. A really grisly scene. I parted the Norian curtain hanging on the doorway and stepped inside. The defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sink. My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight.
How thoroughly appalling!
He doesn't appear to be lying here.
Well, I'm sorry, but do you have a magical bracelet telling you that about people's lies? Or, I don't know, a mysterious stone that allows you to see lies? I don't think so.
Why are you bringing Apollo and Phoenix into this?
Because they're the only two people who have magic. I don't count Athena. Athena has a gadget. That doesn't count.
The magical technology?
Well, Soseki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonaga is saying, I wonder?
You'd like a literary man's opinion. Hold it!
Stabbed wildly. You actually saw her do it.
Oh, indeed. The terrible specter, the Turian inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment. Every sight and every sound is still carved into my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation.
Is it bad that Soseki-san's voice that Megan is doing reminds me of Karen, the computer wife from SpongeBob?
God, yes. Okay, I wasn't the only one who was having that feeling here.
Or like maybe a little bit Squidward too, like a Karen and Squidward like love
Honestly,
baby.
I didn't mention it. Counsel! What on earth was that shrill, effeminate scream?
No, no. What are you insinuating? I am as manly as a Japanese man as you.
I wonder if I might interject here, Sasaki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression. Were your words just now, I believe.
So do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described?
No! I mean, yes! I mean, I know what I saw! My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream, hence my eyes didn't deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper and serial.
It sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend here on what he saw, the more in church he's going to become.
Dear, how awkward.
I'm not gonna press that. I just want to present evidence.
Hold it!
She was stabbed multiple times. How can you be sure of that?
Very simply, from the blood on the blade.
What?
The blood?
Inspector Hasanaga, I don't think that's how it works.
He was like, there was blood on the blade, so she must have been stabbed.
When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air.
Yes, yes. That's right. I saw it too.
Oh,
And I noted that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene.
Yes, yes, that's right. I saw it.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, yes. Right. Went too.
Do you mind, man?
maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese.
Lee.
The logic of your argument is sound, at least. Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. That's just my personal opinion, of course.
I am.
Susato!
She's
Savage. I love her so much.
Oh, poor Hassan.
Counsel, you will refrain from mocking the witness. I feel so bad for him.
But Susato's right, though.
Yeah,
He
but
should have been
Turtle.
He should have been flawlessly protecting the victim, not.
That was
But
like the third
Turtle.
fucking time that happened. That's like the second time this has happened.
Oh no, I just have so many thoughts whirling around in my head. It's all I can do to stand here, wide-eyed and mute.
Goodness, my dear. You really must try to calm down.
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may have inadvertently lied at times, for various reasons: a misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion, even...
Delusion.
What's important is that we determine the truth. There's only one sure way to do that.
Yes, with evidence, of course.
Spoken like a true judicial assistant. During the witness testimony, you can use RB,
Blah, blah,
pick
blah.
piece of evidence, and blah, 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 blah. So you just need to listen carefully to each statement and compare what's said to the details in the court record. If you find some conflicting information, that may be the inconsistency you're looking for.
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies.
Once you've identified a witness's statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence, do that. And the way ahead will present itself to you.
Yes. All right then. I'll consider of all the evidence in the court record against each statement to find a consistency. I hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget that you can have the witness repeat their statements as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning. Those wide eyes are quite forgiving. And besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl.
You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again from the start.
I was gonna say that he said it so calmly, like you just need to present evidence. Mia Fey. Rub the evidence in their damn face, Phoenix!
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Objection!
Oh, she did a finger point right away.
That accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at the bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
That was a good objection. What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel?
The witness to clarify something for me.
All I heard was, "Whoo! Ha!"
You were cutting out, Megan, so that's all we heard was hoo ha ha.
That makes it so much better. That makes it better.
Just hoo ha ha. Not you, Susaki-san.
After I gave you that great performance, you're not even gonna ask for more from me. What the fuck?
The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
Me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said, when they entered the hut, the defendant was already sitting over the victim, the bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What?
Get to the point, please, Counsel.
Man, this judge does not take BS at all.
Yeah, he's literally just like he does
doesn't.
not want any conversation. He is literally just here so that there's some sort of authority figure.
I feel bad. Like, I get that the judge in London's like, oh, goodness me, please explain, counsel. This guy's like, get to the fucking point. I swear. Oh my gosh, she opened the book still.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only.
Oh!
In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed.
Ah!
And Soseki-san,
Me?
You okay there? You're having a seizure again.
Yeah, but like
you claim to have seen Meibami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes. And?
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
True.
Then what exactly is your contention, counsel? Are you going to tell us?
Wow, God.
Yeah, he is
Okay.
not bad.
Jeez.
He is angry.
Yes, Your Excellency, there's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
Yeah, is this dude okay? Do we need to get him to the hospital?
Dude,
We get used to it.
we're not
after a while.
sure, honestly.
I'm used to it by this point, so.
He literally has a heart attack.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
See, I think he's more like a hummingbird. He has to keep moving or he dies.
Yeah.
Like that one Pokemon.
No. If it stops moving, it dies.
Anyways. Alright, moving on. Oh!
That doesn't work, Susan. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Well, this takes me back.
Huh?
Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
Right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-wit child managed to outwit the prosecution, who only has half a head of hair.
Oh!
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed. Everyone throwing shade at his hair. Goddamn.
I think it looks better!
I mean, let's not deny it.
Not
I
that
mean-
what.
He looks better?
I mean, he does, honestly.
And like, it might not be the glow up we wanted, but like, at least it is a glow up.
Improvement is improvement.
Like, going back would just be going like, down. Like, he'd just be losing his progress, so...
Anywho. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was at that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. The knife was already tainted with blood, because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
I'm in agreement with the prosecution. Oh no. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade,
Then we are back where we started.
sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good.
Why did Ray pull the knife?
Oh yes, going for the jugular.
Huh? What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, counsel. Fucking English.
Truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could.
Favor. Yeah.
Andrew's just quickly saving before.
Stab her again.
According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It's thought that she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Horrible.
Indeed. Giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Meibami-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. English.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Why are you shaking your head at me? Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here?
Your Excellency, if I may.
Megan.
Oh, fuck. Speak witness.
I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Counsel,
Slipshod?
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not an iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the defense counsel's assertion.
Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly.
Okay, so...
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Yeah.
Is what you said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yeah.
Susato doesn't have that knowledge, y'all.
Yes. Think of the weapon itself as a stopper at the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
So she effectively sped up her death as she pulled it out.
Oh, I see.
Ha! This is why Yoko should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge.
Wait, if she pulled the knife out, wouldn't that technically still count as murder anyways, because she sped up her death? It wouldn't be an intentional murder, but it would still be murder anyways.
Yeah.
So, like, no matter what, Ray would be fucked.
Hold on, let's keep going. Let's see where this takes us. Come on, this is Ace Attorney. The impossible is possible.
First trial ends with us not getting a fucking
Susato's first trial as a defense lawyer and she fucking fails.
literally, what if that's like actually the story?
That'd be so sad. Poor
And then that's
Susato.
like we have to come back to it in like the very last trial or something.
That'd be so bad.
God,
Poor
So sad.
Susato.
Susato failed to defend her client, and now she's dead.
Just like, but this
Ryunosuke.
one just makes no sense. Like, they literally like, what were you doing, Ray? You fucking weirdo.
Ryunosuke's like, I take everything I take everything back I said last time when we last spoke to each other.
You are not a good
Not a great
judicial
judicial
assistant.
Like, get
No,
out of
you're
my
a great.
sight.
No, you're a great assistant. You're a shitty attorney.
Yeah, literally.
You're a great assistant, but I think you should leave the defense to actual defense attorney.
Well, not like Ryanosuke is any better. He was an English student. He's not even a freaking defense student.
Hey, hold on. Let's not forget that Phoenix was an art student. There's a pattern.
Exactly.
There's a pattern here.
Anyways,
Hey.
Kyle, you can read your
The
line.
best lawyers are the ones who don't study law.
Possibly.
Anywho, anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Pardon?
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Mother, is it true what they're telling me?
You still think they're lying?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If you were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal.
But then why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I don't.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have?
Wait,
Suzato.
have we ever specified what angle they saw them from?
No, not yet.
No.
Because what if they saw them from the back?
I think they already said they came through the front door.
Exactly,
Like,
but
when the
that's
pictures get
but like
taken.
There's no back door.
I know, but like that's what I'm thinking. Like she was alive and had enough time to move, right? It would have been really painful, but she was still alive for a couple of minutes. It's not exactly implausible, especially with all the footprints, to think she turned herself around or someone turned her body around.
Okay, you mind explaining that to Suzato-san then? I know where your line of thinking is going. I know, but you know, I don't think the characters have caught up yet.
Well, excuse me, what the fuck are they doing?
It's late 1800s Japan.
You're right, they probably still think like demons did it or some shit.
Okay, let's not drag them to that level, okay?
Alright.
Yes?
Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards. Ooh.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I know it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
Honestly, I think Susato got kind of a shitty first case.
I mean, does anyone ever have a good case?
I know, but
I
this one's
mean-
just like her first two witnesses are people who have like said they like explicitly saw it, you know?
I mean, to be fair, Ryunosuke's first trial was defending his own accusation of murder, so...
Yeah.
Fair.
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be alright?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really, but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it, and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Council? When you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Ugh.
I think Aochi just took a stab at me for my Pokemon Nuzlocke run. If you send Pokemon out without thinking, it will be a bloodbath. Yes, I
Well,
learned
it
that
will.
lesson early in.
To the witness testimony, please.
Yes, it's not fun.
Hold it!
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant, Rei Mibami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense.
Susanoo, no!
What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba? I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know. Young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, counts. Oh my god, are we gonna hit someone? A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing.
Oh dear, that
Judges-
recoiled on me badly.
Judge is ready to fuck up someone's day.
Literally, Judge
He
needs to take his medicine.
woke up and chose violence today.
The judge is
That's
scary.
Yeah, he had the gavel in there. He's like, I ain't having any for shit today. That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mibabi-san would have certainly been aware of it.
Hold it!
Had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
The little turtle's head.
But the irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Word of motion! This does not reflect the view of the streamers. This is just stuff that has been said. Just putting it out there.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take a hold a little bit too much.
Well, having managed to convey the basics now, that should cover the medical side of the argument.
Hold it!
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Meibami-san's nature to do something so awful.
But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against.
But you don't know the defendant.
And you, Council, do not appear to know the law!
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
Me too.
So do I. Judge.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. He just
This brat was in many ways the sworn enemy of Bami-san.
every time he speaks, I almost think like he's just like a fucking like tutorial almost. Like just a move along.
Yeah, pretty much.
True. Dr. Wilson recognized Meibami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes, the Englishman appears to have a very broad-minded that's that English.
English is hard today.
Yeah, literally.
Yes,
I'm
the
sure
Englishman
everywhere,
appears
let's
to
be
have been a
honest.
very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with the opposition first, but he believed firmly in Mbambi-san's abilities. Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only served to prove my point.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing a knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Suzuka, it's times like this where it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in this courtroom.
Of course, but I've been through the court records dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You need to take a look at the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail.
Ah,
I realize this is your first time playing the role of a lawyer in the courtroom. So, if you need reminding of the rudiments, you only need to ask, and I'll do my best, very best to help.
examine the evidence in the courtroom. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do?
Good, you gave me the option to do it.
Come
You
to
know
think
what
of
to do?
it, Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san were always turning the evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail. With A.
Ah, by the look in your eyes, it's coming back to you. Also, why were you muttering, A?
Don't worry about it, Father.
Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue. Also, we may need to. We're gonna have a talk later about this. Because you
Oh,
mentioned
no.
A and RB is not English.
Yes, I'll do it straight away.
Okay, good. The game gave us the ability to start looking at stuff now.
I'll be back. I'm
Yay.
just gonna go grab something to drink, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, no
Hey,
problem.
rotating the paper 360.
Hey,
360 no scope.
360, no evidence.
I found an Umbreon.
Wait, are you playing Legends?
Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna fucking
Oh,
I'm warp right
Oh.
now.
Okay. We're in the middle of stream, so we'll talk about this later. Because
I mean-
I too have been playing through it, but we'll talk about this after.
Oh, but that. Oh, okay. We can like.
Yeah, so you can still view evidence. It's basically like regular Ace Attorney.
No, I was just surprised that we could zoom out so far on the newspaper.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Because
Oh,
in like the
perfect.
old Ace Attorney games, it's usually like what you're
Yeah.
given is what you get.
No, the game finally gives you the. It's still the same thing with certain evidence. With the images, you can't do that, but with stuff like this, you can.
No, they've definitely improved kind of how Ace Attorney plays.
Hmm.
For sure.
To be fair, they've things have improved since Ace Attorney came out, so I really hope it.
I really
would've
hope there was
changed
some
something.
improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing this game right now.
Raucous England returnees tell all. This is the interview with you and Soseki-san. Is it, Father? It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over animated when he was talking about his time in England. photographer managed to capture the moment of his hand karate chopped knee on the neck.
Oh my god, did he try to kill him?
Do hope you weren't hurt. No, Soseki-san just flails. He's just like,
So Saki-san be a little bit nuts.
This is a newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory?
Knife was covered in poison.
From Yume's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
Let me see that. The poison's been stolen.
It's this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as it is, that is for the head of the laboratory. I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where could that reporter have gleaned his information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning the story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray! She was managing it?
If what's written on here is true, it means that she tried to hide it, theft it, and moreover, the details were leaked.
I don't believe it.
We
Brave
need to
evil.
read this article very carefully. Exclusive deadly poison stolen. Following a lecture at Yume Base, complaint stating deadly poison was secretly in the smallest amount entering the body, either by a mouth or by a wound from poison-like spray would have proved fatal. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical dupe. Nearest they would have to be consulted. Onset of victims and animals started with impaired breathing, ending in acute contraction of people's prior death. Such symptoms suggest that this toxin, then the entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and relatively commissioned by the
So in like normal human speak, what does that mean?
So
Basically-
basically,
Oh, fine, okay. That was gonna
it's saying that the military is trying to invent a poison that and like the alkaloids are trying to think of the word of what an alkaloid is. It's like a naturally occurring like compound, like it's like hydrogen and stuff. So
Okay.
it's an entirely new synthesis of a natural component that's been commissioned by the government to create a deadly poison for their military, for military prowess.
So not good stuff at all.
Yeah,
No.
so...
Yeah, and apparently the symptoms are you find it difficult to
Occur-
breathe and your pupils shrink.
And there,
Yeah,
and people,
occurs
and
in
people
minutes.
Would be a toxin. It'd be suggested that it's a toxin.
Wait. Did Ray stab her neck to make it easier to breathe?
Well, if you want a hint, extreme
Well-
mitosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes.
Yeah, so like did she like because it makes it hard to breathe, do you think she like stabbed her in the lung to like make it easier to breathe?
No.
But then she passed away.
The thought is that the knife was probably laced with the poison. So
Probably, but like what if?
Well, what does it say? It was death, piercing a lung. So yeah, it would have been much worse anyway. Regardless. But
Yeah, I guess.
but
I guess if she was gonna die, there would have been no point to like pierce her in the lung.
well, she was pierced in the lung, but the pupil constriction already suggests that it's probably the toxin because that's one of the symptoms. I
Yeah.
would assume it was a toxin, but it was just noted here because obviously no one has any way to find it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's look at the pen. Sorry.
initials are very clearly engraved here.
And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly in the message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there could be any doubt this is a key piece of evidence in this case.
If we take off the pen's lid,
Do you want to finish your sentence? I think she finished her sentence.
now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we?
No ink?
This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't appear to be any ink in there. That's
Oh, yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
I think I know what's going on here now.
Was the poison in the pen?
There's some sort of emblem here. Look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. The business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that Ben doesn't in fact belong to Ray.
What's on the black part of the...
I
Nib.
can't search it. That's probably ink.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you know how a fountain pen works, it's...
Yeah, I guess,
basically-
yeah, it must be the ink.
Yeah. Huh, I'm feeling like... Huh, okay. I think I have a bit of an possibility of what might be happening. Because it was a...
Was it in the drink?
No, well... Yeah, actually, because technically it can be ingested by mouth.
Just because if the testimonies are correct, then no matter what, Ray still had her hands on the knife.
But fingerprinting doesn't exist yet.
No, but if the testimony exists,
Yeah.
if they're telling the truth, they saw her with the knife. So Ray still had the knife. So it's like even if the poison was on the knife, it doesn't really change anything.
Okay, so we have... Well, I mean, it doesn't seem logical, but I mean, I think that would be our kind of key in at this point, really. Well, there's only one way to find out.
Objection! No. There's one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
I just want to point out, we still don't have the murder weapon. Where the hell's the murder weapon?
Yeah, actually,
What?
dead ass.
What?
Ha! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser.
Shut up, McBaldy face.
Yeah, literally.
Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article.
I just realized you. Well, no.
An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial U.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
What?
Prosecutor Ouchi, you will let the defense speak.
But a newspaper article. The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained where it says.
Oh, yeah, it's the first part. What am I doing? What am I doing? But I'm just gonna save because I'm not 100% confident in my choices.
Valid.
Actually, let me just repeat that again.
The article reveals the following property about the poison in question.
Oh, you were close. He's awaiting.
When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
The knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison. It would explain why the defendant, Meibami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What?
This is complete and utter nonsense!
Really?
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body to not accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny that possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking.
Oh, please. This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind. The poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions again, or the argument would make no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it? Yokel?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
Judge.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear that those are not empty words. I don't know why the fuck my eyes weren't registering that as a word. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands modern justice system? Okay.
Yeah, at least modern of that time.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Excellency. I am well aware of that. I've seen it many times from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
Crime scene photograph.
Take that!
How exactly would you explain this piece of evidence's connection to the newspaper article?
Truth, I'm not really sure. But my father always taught me to ask my elders whenever I was in trouble. So I thought I should ask your opinion, Your Excellency.
No. No.
It is advice you seek, Counsel, then I suggest that you indiscriminately thrusting evidence under my nose. Why not thrust it under the nose of the professor at your side?
Okay, wrong line of
Rip.
thinking.
He's angry.
We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Take that!
Oh, okay. Not that, huh? Okay, postmortem.
Take that!
Okay, I guess it is.
The court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem with a report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim.
Oh,
Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea. So, please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well,
under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual. Yes.
what are you doing, you yokel detective?
Oh, we're taking fires at me now, huh?
In the news article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely,
Yes. As a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie.
God, you know how tempting it is to say Prosecutor Auchi when the death slam happens?
I actually like slam my hands on my desk. I was like, Prosecutor Ouchie.
Right? Like when you play as the main character and doing all the animations, like they're cues of when stuff when I should be saying stuff, but I'm not saying it. So I'm like really tempted to say it, but I'm like, no, I'm not her. I'm not her. I gotta.
You will get Rhinosuke back, but for now, this is my trial.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think you'll agree this is very compelling evidence.
You go student and don't go professor!
Yeah. I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Eugene Mukotoba.
Yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. Expose the government's secrets.
It pains me to have to admit it. But I'm afraid I don't know.
You don't know?
The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly. But I was unaware of any theft.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
Ew.
Oh, where have I heard this before? I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
Oh!
It's totally unfounded.
Oh, hey!
Hey.
None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault.
Sasaki-san, are you...
So
He's
Sasuke,
pooping.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
it looks
no.
like it looks like Soseki-san is like taking a poop there. Like he's taking like the biggest dump of his life.
He
He's
looks
pooping.
more constipated
no.
than anything.
Oh,
Did
no.
he have some
It's
Taco
happening
Bell
again.
or something? Like
Oh no, it's happening again. He did this back in England too. God damn
He's
it.
pooping. It's all my fault.
hey,
Then mommy said, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated. But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day. What?
so you knew.
I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea of who the thief was.
A thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman. Miss Jazale Brett. That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool in the back of the hut, smiling sweetly as if she knew she was untouchable.
Oh no.
I know
Oh,
it was
no.
you who stole the poison.
Well,
Well,
she's British, so...
well, now, whatever do you mean?
I can always do it too. I mean, I'm just doing
I think that
Susato.
was it. And then she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. Oh, the hole. The hole in the wall.
Oh, interesting.
I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it.
In other words, you realize that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison. My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Breast's lips while I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade. Oh.
This is
On the blade of the knife in her back.
And the train of thought was what you spurred, and that train of thought was what spurred you to like, who needs translation?
We all just like can't English today.
Yeah, who needs translations when you have me? Yes, because if the amount it entered her bloodstream was small enough, she still might have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm sorry for staying silent all this time. Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you have confessed in the end. Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here in this courtroom now.
Oh,
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say. Well then, Bami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you can explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Is it delayed on your end?
No, again, I have essay over here.
Oh,
I
fair enough.
apologize.
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
what?
What's the prosecution counsel up to?
I don't know. You're gonna have to find out next week. Because I'm ending the stream here.
Damn, on a cliffhanger, but not actually.
Alright.
Next time on Ace Attorney Z.
We figure out what his evidence is.
Dun dun dun. Okay. Good night. Bye.
Bye.